So we're going to start with a public service announcement, and this is the perfect kind of thing for the news to do, because this is a thing where people are like, why don't you make a video about this? And I'm like, I don't know, because I'm not sure how many facts are out there, and the news is perfect for things where news is supposed to report facts. There's an issue with the DJI Goggles 3 and the O3 Air unit, a critical issue that is making people lose their drones, crash their drones, and you need to know, well, I mean, in short, don't use the DJI Goggles 3 with the O3 Air unit until this issue is fixed. That's the short version.
Yeah, I mean, that's basically all of it. At random times, they will disconnect and they will not reconnect. The biggest issue here is that they will not reconnect. You know, sometimes you can have a blackout on digital and then you'll get it back. Either you went out of range or you had some kind of like really bad signal patch, but then you would get a recovery. And unfortunately, in this case, there's no recovery without resetting the unit. And that's what makes this really a super critical error as opposed to a sort of critical error.
Well, and I've heard people, so like, okay, well, I will just not fly far away and I'll keep my bit rate high and I'll never lose link. And I got GPS rescue if I do lose link, so it'll be okay. But I've heard some reports of people losing link at close range and being confused. So it makes me wonder if there are constant, maybe little micro fail-safes that we're not aware of, that now that the link doesn't recover, we're finding out. It's not like you could safely do this if you're just really careful. Like if you were 100% sure that you had a working GPS rescue and you're not using the DJI RC controller, because with the RC controller, when you lose video, you also lose control. But if you were 100% sure you had working GPS rescue that you really trusted, maybe you could fly, and if you lost video, you would just... But other than that, forget about it. Forget about it. Just don't fly with the RC... with the DJI Goggles 3 and the O3 Air unit.
Yeah, don't do it.
We got to give credit. MadStech certainly isn't the only one to have discovered this, but MadStech has been at the forefront of documenting it, and so we got to give credit to MadStech. There's a link to his video down in the video description below. Oh, hang on. I never turned the face cam on for the news, because if I'm on screen, Blunty should be on screen. So credit to MadStech and the other people who have been researching this. It is worth pointing out, I think, that some people have said that if you cut the TX wire, so you've got the TX and the RX wire going to the air unit, and the TX wire is doing your OSD, the RX wire, I can't remember which one you're supposed to cut. They said if you cut one of those wires, then the problem doesn't happen. And they believe that it is somehow related to Betaflight flight controller telling the O3 that it's armed in some way that relates to the bug. And it's been documented that if you disconnect the TX and one of the TX and the RX wires, I'm not sure which one, then disconnect them both. Then the problem doesn't happen. But don't do that. That is not a solution, because the O3 Air unit will not go out of low power mode when it doesn't have that TX RX connection. And people also say, well, there's a menu option where you can turn off low power mode. And so you just turn low power mode off, and then you don't need the TX and the RX wires. And that's also incorrect. On the Vista, turning off low power mode would cause the Vista to go to full performance. On the O3, turning off low power mode, it still doesn't do everything, because when the Vista is in low power mode, it's not just the output power, it's also the frame rate and other things, the bit rate. So the O3 will not go to full power without that TX and RX lines, and that is what sort of triggers the bug. There just isn't a workaround right now, period. This is the takeaway. So, don't do it. And the next question, Blunty, is when will a fix come out? Is DJI going to fix this? What's your opinion about that?
Who knows?
Yeah, pretty much.
That's my opinion. Who knows? Yeah. There's literally no way to know. So they could say they're doing it, and they could not be. They could not say they're doing it, and they are. You know what I mean? Any combination of the matrix is correct. Yeah, it could be any number of things.
DJI has said they're looking into it. They always say that, though. I have heard from people that DJI engineers have contacted them and asked them for logs, which lends a little more credibility that DJI is sort of being proactive, and it's not just some customer service drone being like, yes, your call is very important to us. We will log it and pass it to the engineers. And I think it's such a critical bug that it feels like, I mean, if I were a gambling man, I would bet that DJI is going to fix it. As far as when, though, like, who knows? They have to figure out what's causing it and how to fix it. And we don't know when that'll happen. And especially because the O3 is last generation, it may not be as high a priority as it would if it was a brand new product.